conversation.
So my body count is a little scary. You know, serious. I would be considered a pussologist. I'm just playing. So
go ahead, continue.
So going back to my specific career, everywhere I go, every audience I perform in front of, every club I host, I pretty much never see dudes. It's all women. It's been that way from the beginning. And so I got to a point where I'm safe here, but if I felt even more safe, I would be willing to go public with what I believe my number is. But it's crazy.
But I want you to feel
what I've been doing. No, I'm not gonna mention the number.
Oh no.
But I'm saying what I believe my number is a little scary, because I got to a point where a powerful man of God asked me a question, and he said, without even coming at me, he just said, "Hey Reese, let me ask you, man, how many more?"
That deep. Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
What did he say?
He said, "How many more?" He did not come at me. I was not attacked. I didn't feel attacked. He didn't be like, "Come on, like how many? When you been out here doing that? I mean, come on." He said, "How many more?" So before he asked me the question, I already had it in my head that I'm doing too much, too often, too many cities, too many states, too many countries. It's too much. But then, when he asked me the question, I made this connection. Okay, why? You either a sex addict and you out here just trying to put your wee-wee in everything and you just losing your damn mind, or it's coming from something.
Yo, Tyrese said he's a pussologist, man. His body count's so high, he won't even say it, man. That's pretty wild. That was him talking to Kirk Franklin. There were some other individuals there. If y'all recall, Kirk Franklin, who is a man of God, he actually came out at one point in time, if I'm not mistaken. Wasn't he one of the individuals that had the corn addiction? I know Terry Crews did too. That shit's crazy, man. Individuals getting addicted to the corn, but individuals getting addicted to the Uzi, not nothing new, man. And Tyrese, you heard him, he had all female fans. Individuals, like, don't get me wrong, I'm sure dudes bought Tyrese projects, right? But as far as buying tickets, showing up to the shows and all that, it's all females. So he was just running wild for years, slaying everything, it sounds like, man. I hope that he was strapping up and remaining safe, man. Tyrese, y'all remember over the past however many years, this dude had lost his fucking mind, but he seems to be back in a better place, a better space, because he's talking about his body count is scary, and I'm sure it is, man, because he wouldn't even put the number out there. But the way he was losing it was scary. Like, that shit was, you guys remember? He was full blown, like, what are we seeing here? There was all kinds of theories. The Illuminati done got to Tyrese, all that. It was nuts. So, but you hear at the end there, it dawned on him when he was speaking to a different man of God that this is coming from somewhere. Like, the clip stops there, but it sounds like he was gonna get into saying that trauma or something like that. On this journey of life, we all are dealing with so much ish. It's wild, man. But tap in, comment. What do you guys think about that? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like in a lot of ways, everyone has their times where they wild out a little bit, beyond some Tupac, I Get Around vibes, dudes and females, right? But, at some point, for the most part, I believe individuals grow sick of that, right? And just want to have a real relationship. And in some ways too, like, what do y'all think about this? if you don't have that stage of your life, like tap in if anyone you experience yourself or you have friends like that where they get into a serious relationship or marriage where they didn't have their time of wilding out, running around, partying, knocking everything down. Like if they get married before having that stage of their life, sometimes they go through it later. You know what I mean? Like I've heard some individuals say that like in a sense, if people don't wild out a little bit before getting married, it's like something you should get out of your system. I don't know, man. You know what I mean? I don't got all the answers, nothing. As always, I'm just laying the content out to chop it up and talk with you guys. So make sure you join the discussion in the comments and subscribe and all that. But let's talk it up on this. In other news, long live young Dolph. We seen Hernandez Govan, who was charged with masterminding the killing of young Dolph, beating the case. The judge shut down the interview in the courtroom, and then immediately he's been all over social network. He's already did Vlad TV. He says he's coming to No Jumper. He wants to get at Seti Nash, and there was someone else too. Oh, Poetic Flacco was talking crazy. I hope Flacco gets slapped in the mouth because he sounded wild, corny. Not that he doesn't always sound corny as fuck, but it's flat out of control at this point. The shit he was talking, man, it's ridiculous. Like Flacco's the worst, man. But yeah, I think Hernandez Govan really needs to just make sure he gets up out of Memphis, you know. But it's crazy to see him acting so crazy and turning up ready for beef. You think after beating a body, or it could just be for the internet. Who knows? You know what I mean? Like, it's a wild situation, but he'd be a fool to stay in Memphis. But did y'all see this? In his interview, I believe with Vlad, he put it out there that basketball player Zach Randolph, right? Well, they call him Zebo. He's a Memphis native. He wanted to squash the beef between Yo Gotti and Young Dolph. He was trying to be the mediator, which is good to do. You know, like I always, for instance, if I know two individuals and they got smoke with each other and things is getting a little too much, I like to play the mediator role. You know what I mean? But sometimes people ain't feeling that. You know, like the Dolph and Yo Gotti beef was serious. This wasn't just no rap beef. Obviously, all the shit that went down behind it, multiple lives lost, multiple shooting incidents, and going back and forth about it on albums and shit is crazy, man. Again, R.I.P. Young Dolph. I'm surprised Yo Gotti didn't get picked up. But at the end of the day, Dolph was like, I'm not with this, and hung up the phone, fluck out of here. He wasn't trying to do the whole peacemaker thing at that point in time. But hats off to Randolph for attempting to squash the issue. Some beefs are just too much shit has went down, man, behind it. 50 Cent in the Game, they ended up squashing the beef, but beef went back on when it was time for Game to drop an album. Fifth at one point let it be known though when Banks took that picture with him, Lodi Mac, R.I.P. Lodi Mac, lives were lost behind that because Game had Jimmy Henchman as his manager.
Album, the Slim Shady LP. All of a sudden now it's important. What I have to say is important. I remember one of the first times signing autographs, there'd be like a line out the door and somebody would be like, yo, I just want you to know, man, you helped me so much for this or for that. So now I'm like, what's your name? Writing a long paragraph for them and signing their name, and people are like, yo, can you speed it up a little bit? Because we're not going to get to everybody.
Hello, how you doing?
I was living it, inside it, when it was all new to me and I still didn't understand it.
And then to round out the news, man, last topic, y'all see what it is. A new Eminem documentary out for the stands, for the fans. A documentary dedicated to the fans/stands. And it's wild, man. I was pointing this out to someone earlier that Stan, which that song was dope artistically, conceptually on the Marshall Mathers LP, where Eminem's fandom went out of control. You know what I mean? Like he blew up to a whole nother level. He was already big when Slim Shady LP dropped, but when the Marshall Mathers LP dropped, it was something else. It was in another out of the atmosphere type shit. But Stan was like a good message for the fans, like, yo, don't get too caught up in this shit. You know what I mean? Like, he said, yo, that's the type of shit that'll make me not want to talk to you. All the wild shit Stan was telling him. And then he ended up performing it with Elton John to tell all the glad people and shit that were protesting, like, what do you got to say about this? You know what I mean? But that Borat shit, that was going too far. I don't know why in the fuck Eminem did that. That was nasty work, man. But getting back to the whole Stan discussion, it's wild. It ended up becoming a part of the lingo. You know what I mean? We got the Drake stans, the Future stans, the whoever stans. And it's like, to me, the stans are always like, you know what I mean? Because, again, make sure you comment, subscribe, hit the buttons and all that. It's all about debating, talking it up on topics. You know what I mean? Just having that good coffee talk. So, as always, don't be shy in the comments. But the stans are the ones you can't have a real convo with, where they're just riding nuts, pause, on a ludicrous level, and they just look at things in such a fanatical, outlandish way that they can't be real. Do you know what I mean? It's like the stans, as the word ended up becoming a part of the lingo, like they're the worst. You know what I mean? But there you have it, man. R.I.P. Dolph. He wasn't with the peace talks. Tyrese smashing across the globe, and what's it called? The Eminem Stan documentary and the Stan discussion. Let's talk about it all in the comments. Thank you again for tuning in. Sub up to the channel, and I'll get with y'all on the next one. Peace.